Andrés Neidig was born in Mexico City in 1943.
Well, my father was a gringo, and my mother had been raised here in the U.S. I had a desire to come and discover the land of my parents.
Andrés started his broadcast career in Denver, Colorado, at the old 1220 AM, home of KFSC Radio, owned by Paco Sanchez. KFSC was the first and only Spanish-language media outlet west of the Mississippi at the time.
Just turned 18. I spoke to him and he said, no, there are no openings, and the person you mentioned, I don't know. A couple of hours later, I planted myself at his studios. That same day, I was hired on the spot after a brief test, and I started as a newscaster, producer, and reader. 3 months later, I became program director, and within the end of the first year, I was general manager, and I became the most hated kid in the station because they were all in their 40s. He told me one day, he said, I want to be on television. Get me on the air. Paco Sanchez show went on the air on Channel 2. We had already started the show and the band hadn't arrived. All of a sudden they come down from the bus and start bringing in their instruments. I would do an interview and news segment on the show. Then I went and did television on Channel 4, also television on Channel 7.
In August of 1966, Neidig was invited by the governor of Colorado to greet Lyndon Johnson and provide Mexican music for the president's visit at Stapleton International Airport.
I've had the honor of meeting most of the American presidents and also the Mexican presidents for the last 53 years.
In March of 1971, he traveled to Paris, France, as part of the Colorado Cares Commission, which was the first American group that was granted an audience by the Hanoi delegation.
Our task was to obtain information on the American prisoners of war. Although other important people were in the group, they failed, and I went ahead and I broke the rules of our group, became fortunate to have the Hanoi people receive us and give us a list of 250, 400 names, which were the first ever that the families of these American soldiers had.
In 1975, Andrés moved to Pueblo, becoming the first Mexican-American owner of a Mexican-American radio station.
It was a challenge, but I made it into a good market for me. I owned a couple of movie theaters and ran some concerts and dances. When I started the station here in Denver, the 1390, La Jota Mexicana, I was doing about 10 remotes per week. Within 3 months, I had over 150 local clients. That's what gave me the opportunity to pay off the radio station within 6 months.
Andrés Neidig has been an inspiration to the Colorado Hispanic population for over 50 years. His contributions go far beyond being a broadcaster. He has devoted himself to helping Spanish-speaking Coloradans in every way possible.
Sometimes they'd come asking for help with their banking problems. Some others needed help with Social Security. My personnel was instructed that if they got a call at the studio, we would take care of them and give them the information. I also met another man at a restaurant. He said, I became a citizen of the U.S. because of you. He said, you were teaching free citizenship classes. We came here looking for the American dream. So these are some of the satisfactions that have made me keep going.
The broadcasting tradition of the Neidig family continues, with Andrés' son and daughter, William and Andrea, and their mother, Chris.
I've been producing for the last 3 years El Show de Andrés. It's an oldie but goodie show. It's fun for me because it keeps my brain working. I've owned 6 or 7 radio stations throughout the years. It was fun. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. It was just one of those things of being at the right place and at the right time.
It is with great pleasure that the broadcast pioneers of Colorado welcome Andrés Neidig into the 2014 BPC Hall of Fame.